right, folks, what is going on? It is a Thursday night. I am Boxman. Oy, it has been boy, if you're a wrestling fan, it has been another tough day for everybody. Like Terry Funk wasn't enough. Uh, Dirk, listener of the show, sends me a message on Messenger right a little bit before I went home. And next thing you know, I get home and I'm looking through news and I'm like, man, I was looking through the news I already had. And next thing you know, I pull up I'm like, wait, what? Who? No, this has to be fake. Go to Google. Bray Wyatt um, passed away today. Suddenly, obviously, suddenly. Not very old, but today's a weird, almost surreal day to be a wrestling fan. I mean, Terry Funk, we just celebrated a birthday. He just celebrated a birthday a little while ago, and then he took a picture. He didn't look great, but he didn't look frail. I guess he did look a little frail, but he didn't look. I don't even know how to say it. Honestly, when I saw the news about Bray, I'm like, I got this like pit in my stomach. I was like, "What are you joking?" And I hadn't looked at any new news since I had been home, and it was probably about 7:30 my time. That's Central. That I noticed that, and I was like, "Holy shit! I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it happened." But I hope Smark will be joining me tonight. To be honest with you, I'm not sure where Smark is. I don't think he said he was going to be out tonight. But anyway, I didn't want to just leave everybody here hanging, especially with the two things that we're going to start out with tonight. Really hope Smark gets in here. I really want to hear some of his thoughts on what's going on here, and not what's going on the passing of two. I mean, one absolute legend in wrestling in Terry Funk, and maybe one of the most creative, dark minds in wrestling. Definitely one of the most creative. I'm sure there's darker out there. I think Sin Bodhi might even be darker, but definitely one of the most creative minds in wrestling. Just kind of shockingly passing away today. I guess I don't even know. I don't even. I mean, 2 weeks ago, people were just reporting that he's closer to a return. He's this. He's that. He's going to be coming back soon, and even we talked about it. And I don't know. Like I said, it's almost a very surreal day if you're a wrestling fan, knowing what's happening here. So yeah, I do have that NORAB. Matter of fact, I'm going to do something a little different than I usually do. Terry Funk, a lot of the wrestlers put out tweets. I'm just going to share my browser with you guys and scroll through those. We'll go through that, but I mean, I'll start with Terry Funk, I guess. Terry Funk, obviously, I mean, this guy has been around. You want to talk about around the world? This guy has been around the world in the wrestling business. Back in 2009, he was going to retire. He was going to retire. He was going to retire this year, that year. That he really didn't retire until he really fucking had to retire. You know what I mean, guys? But Terry Funk has been, I mean, NWA, WCW, ECW, WWF. Guy even had a little stint in ROH. I mean, you name a promotion, he has been there. And that's just in the United States, mind you. The guy was all over Japan. But Texan, born here in Texas, a big part of the Beyond the Mat movie, which me and Anthony did review on Hollywood Hangout. You can check that out if you'd like to. We did review that. I think Smark might have been on for that one with us too, but we did review that, and I mean, it was in Roadhouse. I watched Roadhouse last night after I found out. I did. After AEW, I put on Roadhouse. I watched Patrick Swayze kick ass and Terry Funk. There's always Barber College. That was a good line. Funk wasn't in the movie a lot, but he was in there enough to be one of the to be known for that movie by a lot of people. Matter of fact, today at work, that was one of how I brought him up to somebody, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that guy." So it's it's just a little crazy, but like I said, do something a little bit different here. I'm going to take this picture off. I am going to catch this window capture number 2. And you guys should be able to pretty much see my screen. I don't know how clear it's going to be. And I really don't care about the ads, folks. This is not a monetized show, so I don't care. The ads are not going to do anything. If they want to take the ads from the show and add them, you're welcome to do it. But Mick Foley, obviously, I mean, these guys spent a lot of time together, teaming together, wrestling each other, tearing each other's body up. Completely just tearing each other's body up. So these guys have been up and down the fucking road together. Obviously, this was a pretty big one for Mick Foley. Terry Funk is gone. He says, I just talked to Terry's daughter, Brandy, who gave me the awful news. He was my mentor, my idol, one of my closest friends. He was the greatest wrestler I ever saw. Another paragraph there, but I'm not going to even start it if I can't finish it. But that was a great one. We're going to scroll a little bit, folks. Let me get my mouse out of the way. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this should be a little better. Let me get the mouse over here. There we go. We got Ric Flair. Woo! The Nature Boy. Ric Flair says, in my entire life, I've never met a guy who worked harder. Terry Funk was a great wrestler, entertainer, unbelievably fearless, and a great friend. Rest in peace, my friend Terry Funk, knowing that no one will ever replace you in the world of professional wrestling. And that's a great picture. I mean, look how young Flair looks. Flair looks like a short, Incredible Hulk there. Look at him. Look at him. Looks great. And then you see the picture of them a little bit later, obviously. So Tommy Dreamer just posted a picture with the hashtag, we had a broken heart, and hashtag forever. Taz put up an old picture of Terry Funk in the Dirty Funker shirt. And I guess I can pull. You know what? Give me a sec here, folks. Yeah, I'm going to switch screens on you. He said, I'm very sad to hear the passing of a true legend and a great person, Terry Funk. Several of us had the honor and pleasure of being at his Double Cross Ranch many years ago after a show in Amarillo. I'll never forget that. Words can't explain how Terry was just great on so many levels. There you go with that. We're going to go back to the other screen. Sorry for the flipping, folks. Hope I'm not doing like a WWE, flipping cameras too fast on you. Then we go over here. WWE posted one. WWE is saddened to learn that that WWE Hall of Famer Terry Funk has passed away at the age of 79. WWE extends its condolences to the Funk's family, friends, and fans. Yeah, folks, we got more. A lot of people were just pouring their heart out. No, I'm not going to read this whole thing from AEW. They put out a very lengthy post. I'm not going to read that here. You can see how long that post is, and I haven't even pulled it up yet. They did a little tribute. Actually, the picture I had posted earlier was the picture from their show. This was the picture from their show, but I think it's flipped on mine. But anyway, Bully Ray, there are no words. Heartbroke. God bless Terry Funk. Put up a couple pictures of them together. You can see Terry over here on the right, picture on the right. You see on the left looking pretty young, pretty good, probably back in the ECW days. And then you got the picture of them all looking older. Terry with the fanny pack on. Kevin Owens says, sorry, folks, I don't really come here ever anymore, but I had to today. Hold on. Let me pull it all up. Let me pull it up. Let's go to it. But I had to today to say that Terry Funk was the absolute best of us, and that getting to be in the ring with him 10 years ago is and always will be one of the absolute highlights of my career, bar none. To this day, I still often think back on that night and shake my head in disbelief at the absolute privilege and incredible luck I had to be in there with him. The energy and aura that Terry carried with him into the ring that night is something I had never experienced before, have not ever experienced since, and I've been in there with some pretty crazy names. I'll never forget it. Terry Funk forever. Nice one, Kevin Owens. Very nice. Well said, Kevin Owens. Triple H, quick one every night in cities all over the world. Let me pull this up a little bit higher for you guys. Every night in cities all over the world, Terry Funk left it all in the ring for our business and for the fans, an icon of our industry. My thoughts are with Terry's family, friends, and fans. So I copied that from the WWE comment, but that's neither here nor there, folks. It ain't about that. Matt Hardy said, "Not R.I.P. Terry Funk. Not only were you the most amazing pro wrestler ever, you were the most incredible human being. Godspeed, Funker. My thoughts are with you and your family, friends, and fans. You will be greatly missed." Nice picture of Flair, Matt Hardy, and Terry Funk. Got another one here. Sean Rossap of Fightful said the beautiful thing about Terry Funk is depending on your age or generation, you quite likely identify him with a completely different list of legendary accolades and moments as someone from another generation. He's right. This guy's been around for what, 40, 50 years? Yeah. He's definitely right about that. We go to MJF, forever, R.I.P. Terry Funk. AJ Styles, normally, I don't post about someone's passing. Terry Funk will always be an absolute legend. And I believe the last one is Brian Last. Imagine that, the last tweet from Brian Last here. Terry Funk was one of the first wrestlers that made me say I need to watch every time he is on TV. He never disappointed. For a couple of generations, you knew if you paid to see Terry Funk, he would steal the show. I feel lucky to have seen him live and to have known him. So there you go, folks. Like I said, he had been on. Let me go ahead and get this off of here so I'm not sharing the rest of the screen. I'll put this picture of him back up. It is flipped on mine. I thought, I'm like, wait a minute, that looks a little different. So yeah, folks, there we go. Terry Funk, like I said, been around this whole wrestling world. Terry Funk has, and like I said, some people knew him just from that little part he had in the movie. Excuse me, hit my mic, in the movie Roadhouse. So it's just a little crazy, and I don't know. I think after that little picture we saw of him on his birthday, no one expected him to go so soon. But man, definitely, condolences to the Funk family. Just awful, just crazy, and I hate that I have to get right into another one, but unfortunately, I got to get into another one. Which, like I said, I came home today and found out while getting ready for the show. The hell? Hold on a sec, folks. All right, it just looked like somebody was at my window, which would mean they would have had to come around the side of my house through my gate. My dogs probably would have freaked out if they heard that gate. But anyway, let's hope they would have. Anyway, sorry, folks. That scared me for a second there. That freaked me out, actually, is what it did. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this man right here, Bray Wyatt. Like I said, on my way home, driving home, didn't even know about it. Finally found out about it when I popped up my news from Dirk. So that's how I found out about this. Now, as Norab posted over here in the chat, and I do have that actual tweet for you guys from Sean Ross Sapp. Let me capture my window one more time for you guys. There it is right there. And it says, from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, I was given permission to reveal that earlier this year, Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, got COVID that exacerbated a heart issue. He put issues, but a heart issue. There was a lot of positive progress towards a return and his recovery. Unfortunately, today, he suffered a heart attack and passed away. Uh, After that, by the way, he also said, I encourage those reading to respect the family's privacy if at all possible, but his loved ones wanted some details clarified. Um, we had heard, obviously, back almost a year ago, I would say, that he had some sort of illness. And that's really all they would say is he had an illness. I think they said serious illness. I think that might have been the actual quote, was serious illness. But it's just, I really, like I said, I think, sorry, folks, let me put my phone on vibrate. I'm a mess tonight. I'm sorry. It's like I said, it's like a surreal, weird, surreal day. Um, anyway, um, and back then, and they really wouldn't tell us what was going on. I don't know why they wanted to hide the COVID. I guess because of the heart issues, they didn't want to bring that up. Like maybe with Triple H having the heart issues going on. I don't know the reasoning, and it's none of my business. I don't fucking care. But and then like I said a couple weeks ago, me and Smark were just talking about hopefully making a return. Yeah, we were joking about the article because it was vague and it was very maybe this, maybe that. But we were still hoping for a return. Like I said, this guy's very creative. I mean, he came back, a little while ago, and from kind of being released, he comes back and he's doing all these QR codes and crazy kind of things. And people were buying into it. People were going crazy for it, to be honest with you. It was pretty, everybody was loving it. So, and also another person, though, who announced that this was going on was Triple H. So let's pop this back up here for Triple H. Yeah, I like Denzel slamming down here on the bottom of the screen. Triple H just received a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda, who informed us of the tragic news that our WWE family member for life, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed away earlier today. Our thoughts are with his family, and we ask that everyone respect their privacy at this time. Unbelievable, man. Just like I said, it's almost a surreal thing right now. Just even thinking about this and going through it and even talking about it, it's just crazy to even think that Bray Wyatt passed away today. I mean, I don't know. 36 years old, folks. 36 years old. I mean, we're talking about Terry Funk, 79, and we're talking about a 36-year-old guy who had a sudden heart attack. And I don't know, man. Like I said, like this chill went over my body when I saw the story and saw that it was true. I was absolutely just baffled by it. But I mean, if you think about it, we kind of saw this guy evolve from NXT on when they used to have it on SmackDown. Husky Harris, we saw Husky Harris. Then we saw him. Like Aria is saying, he was happy to make it past 33. Farley, Belushi, man, I know a lot of those guys went out. Especially, I mean, Farley. My God, that was one that just. I mean, me and Anthony did a whole show on Chris Farley on Hollywood Hangout. I know that's my second plug for Hollywood Hangout, but Sorry, folks. I'm not meaning it like that. But yeah, it's just absolutely amazing though that we're sitting here talking about this with a guy, but we really did see this guy grow up throughout the system. Through 2009, when he was out there as Husky Harris, we saw him grow into this, go back to NXT, grow into this Bray Wyatt, Waylon Mercy type of cult leader kind of character. That was great. Listen, I joked a lot. He says a lot of words, but doesn't say much. But that's what a cult leader does. He talks in circles. Bray Wyatt was playing the part he should have been playing. I said that way back. I need a sip, folks. So we saw him grow into this Bray Wyatt character, this cult leader. Then we saw the Wyatt family go. Then once the Wyatt family broke up, we saw all these characters coming out, Ramblin' Rabbit and all these other characters. And then we saw The Fiend. That was a scary fucking character to see coming out, and then, and then after The Fiend, he went, after he went away or was released, he came back. He was doing the Uncle Howdy character. He had Ramblin' Rabbit again. He had all the characters coming to life. Like these figments of his imagination just coming to life. And we really did watch this guy from 2009 to 2021 grow in front of our eyes from this badly tattooed heavy character who was kind of bland to, all right, Christopher Kane, be right back. He's driving home. You be careful. Take it easy out there. And just grow from that character up into what we saw him grow into, to grab the audience the way he did, to do some creative stuff during COVID, like the heart of COVID. You guys know times I'm talking about. We all were watching empty arenas, and we saw, a pretty crazy WrestleMania match between him and Cena. It was cinematic, but it was great. He took Cena through his whole career. It was pretty cool, and I'm just shocked that we're sitting here talking about Bray Wyatt passing away at 36 years old. It's very bad. I know I might be stuttering a little bit tonight and stammering and maybe repeating myself, but I'm really this really just has me absolutely baffled tonight. Norab brings up his little crab spot. That was pretty fucking scary, man. And he had some great moves, like Norab says, Sister Abigail. That was a pretty good move, man. I really liked him. I liked his character, but I just can't believe we're sitting here talking about this tonight. Yeah, Stephen Butler says, yeah, I'm still shaking my head over that Cena match. WWE is going to really miss him on the roster. You're right, they will. I'm sure they really wanted him to come back. Like I said, he grabbed the audience that when he came back, and he probably would have done it again without a problem. And that Cena match, I'm not gonna lie. Wait, I got Smart calling in. Hold on, folks. Hold on a minute, folks. All right, better late than never. I called I called twice. Where the hell were you?
I didn't get any notifications, and then I was listening to you talk, and it didn't seem like the right time to Skype in.
Always the right time.
Considered. But then you said you were stuttering and stammering, so I figured that would be as good a time as any to join.
All right. And you can still hear me okay, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right. Let me do this. Let me pull up the right screen, sir. All right. Glad you're here. There we go. We should be good there. I am going to do something real quick, so I'm going to go off camera for just a second. Look down, exit. And we're going to switch my camera back to the webcam. There we go. That should be a lot better, a lot clearer. And yeah, I'm not locking up on the mic there. Let me get rid of the react buttons. And let me share the screen. And we're going to, damn those react buttons. One screen. There we go. All right, Smart. There we go. All right. I am sorry. I accidentally hit that button. All right, here we go. We're back, folks. We're here. For some reason, did I leave that fucking react thing up again? I think I did. It won't go away. Go away. It went away. Go away. Stay away. Okay. Sorry. But no, Smart. You were good. But anyway, good. Glad you're here. We're kind of all sitting here talking about Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, not too long ago. It was like a little bit over 2 years at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We had he'd gotten released, and we did a show about that. Where it was just like that felt crazy at that point because it was like he was at the time one of the biggest merchandise sellers. Like all the masks and T-shirts and stuff were fucking selling like hotcakes. It was a big deal, and I think that was before they like started going super crazy releasing people too. It was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously he came back and all of that, and it's so crazy because like you were saying, we were talking about it and we were making fun of how vague the article was. Not anything to do with him, but just that he was on the precipice of making a return. It was like he made it through the bad part, whatever the bad part was. They were being very vague about it at the time. He elaborated as to what it was that was going on, but at the time, it was just a serious illness. But then he had basically gotten out of the woods and was on his way to, trying to make his return. And then, you see it today. Like when I saw it today, I just saw like a thumbnail with the the Mountain Dew pitch black background, and I thought it was like going to be a video for like top 10 most outlandish matches or something, because I was like, it was on YouTube where I saw it first.
Right.
I was like, all right, that kind of piqued my attention. I looked and it said Bray Wyatt had passed away, and it's just like, no fucking way, like impossible. And it was Sean Ross Sapp was the first place that I saw it, and then I went on WWE.com and I didn't see anything. So it's like, all right, maybe fucking. There's been a lot of misinformation lately, so it's like, who knows? Somebody jumped the gun or got some bad info, or whatever. But then I looked a little bit more on Twitter, and they were saying it was Triple H who announced it, and I was like, well, they're not gonna. They're not trying to. Triple H is not here trying to outscoop people. So if he tweeted it, then unfortunately it is so. But it's crazy, It's just, it was the timing of it was very weird because it was in January 2020. Was the last like live event that I had gone to. So I like just in the nick of time beat COVID because that shit started shutting down just weeks afterwards. But the point of that was to say that he was in a match with Daniel Bryan for the WWE title at that point. And he was doing the whole Fiend character, and it was just like fucking everybody was just absolutely like just glued to what was going on. It was very surreal because everybody had the camera phones out, and a couple of people even brought out the lighters, old school style. But it was just everybody was absolutely captivated, and like everybody loved the character, and there was like the T-shirts and shit were like they were running out fast at the merch table. Like I can say that. Just like like you were saying, everybody loved the character, and they oftentimes didn't really know what to do with the character. There's a lot of like misdirections and like unfortunate booking in hindsight, but a lot of people really loved it. And then like you said, he was 36. Like I'm fucking. Only about 4 years, more so 3 than 4, because I got 3 weeks. I'm going to be turning 33, but like he's in my age range. You know what I mean? It's just like it's crazy to think about from that perspective. And like you said, Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk, it's two very different sides of the spectrum. It can happen to anybody at any time, regardless of your situation, age, background, whatever the case might be.
Two pretty brutal sides of the spectrum, though.
Yes,
they were both had a little violent streak in them. But I'll tell you what, Nori, I've just shot this picture over, and I'm sure I know it's not completely on here, folks. I'm sharing it off my browser, and there's no way for me to move it up and down right now. But it's just weird to sit there and look at 1987 to 20. I mean, it's like, my God, 1987. Wow. It's just weird, man. It's just really weird. But yeah, and you know, I'd already gotten to Terry Funk, but you're welcome to say whatever you
Well,
feel.
yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but there's a couple of things that kind of stick out. It's just like you were saying before that Triple H found out through, Bray's dad, through IRS, Mike Rotunda.
Right.
It's gotta be fucking absolutely terrible to be a parent and to, outlive your kid like that. That's just, I can't imagine what it's like for him. That's gotta be just absolutely terrible. And not only that, but it's obviously just a very weird coincidence, but the whole Wyatt family situation. Because he was in the stable with Luke Harper, Brody Lee, whatever you want to call him at that point, but they both, two individuals that both died of an illness and like in the prime of their lives. It was just very crazy that they were stablemates and they both had similar tragedies befall them. It's very, very unusual, very weird.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but you're right, man. Two of the three are just had very sudden. Yeah, Brody had a sudden illness and boom, passed away. Bray Wyatt's illness. Obviously, Sean Ross Sapp said he did have COVID a while ago. That
it was very interesting because I saw that, but then before I saw that tweet, there was also a tweet from Keith Lee, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said that he was rooting for Bray the way that Bray had rooted for him, and then after seeing what Sean Rouse had said, that makes even more sense as to what it was. Because he wasn't trying to put his business out there, but Keith Lee had already said that he had COVID, so it made quite a bit of sense after the fact.
Yeah, man, it's just I just can't believe we're sitting here talking about a 36-year-old Bray Wyatt passing away. Blows my mind, dude. I'm like I said, I know I'm stammering, stuttering tonight, but my mind is fucking. It like won't wrap around both these two deaths so quick, back to back, like this.
Right. I guess on some of a positive note, apparently, according to PW Insider, they're saying WWE is trying to work out a way to set it up so that his merchandise sales from this point forward, I don't know for how long, but in the immediate future, that all of the proceeds are going to be going to his family. So that's at least something positive.
That's great. That is great because I know he had. How many kids do they? 2 or 3? I think 2.
I saw 4 kids in a photo that somebody posted.
Oh, that's right. He had kids from the other marriage or the other girl. Right. Then I believe he's had 2. Yeah, I think he had 2 there, 2 here, or 1 there and 3. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, that was JoJo was his wife, right? JoJo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man. Tough for a tough day for a lot of people today, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Tough day for a family today, most definitely. But yeah, man. So there's he had 4, 2. All right, 2 from each marriage. Okay, thank you, Nora. Thank you for clearing that up. Or I'm not even sure if he was married to the other girl. 2 from each relationship. How about if I say that?
Right.
And then I'm not stepping on any vows or anything. Whatever.
Yeah, 4 kids, a wife, brother, sister, father,
uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle that we heard was doing horrible a few weeks ago. Who people were a few months ago. Who people were literally being like, "Man, you might want to just start thinking about your goodbyes." He bounces back, and now we're talking about this. It's just like I said, man, it's baffling. But you got any more on Bray Smart?
Not really. It's still it's very hard to process because you never expect it, especially somebody that age, and then you're hearing that he's doing better, or that he got past the illness or whatever. You didn't know what the illness was at the time, but you heard that he was good. So yeah, it's very unexpected.
Yeah.
To shift to the back to the Terry Funk thing, there's a couple of things that I think about when I think about Terry Funk. Like one of them, like you had obviously, of course, you mentioned Roadhouse. There was the Beyond the Mat. You know, he was a big part of that too. And what's funny about that is like just watch Beyond the Mat at some point and just think about how many Terry Funk wrestled, I believe, in 2017.
Yeah.
Look at how many people that were in that movie that Terry Funk had. His supposed to be his retirement match in the movie. Look at how many people in that documentary that he ended up wrestling longer than. Like fucking Bret Hart, who he had the retirement match with. They were debuting. You know, it's an unfortunate incident, but they were debuting the Draws gimmick. He obviously his career lasted a little bit longer than Draws did. There was fucking Foley. You know, they were talking about Foley. Foley, his last match was before Funk's last match.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many fucking people. He just never stopped. Like it was one of many retiring. He retired more than the fucking Rolling Stones did, but
he outlived Dennis Stamp.
Yeah, Dennis Stamp too was in the match. He was the referee. I was
and
actually watching that a
yeah.
little bit earlier.
And I really was not making a joke of that. I was just that was just a little fact. I know that sounded like a joke. It really wasn't.
But I mean, yeah, it was just there are so many people in that documentary that just he ended up wrestling, you know, even after they had retired. So it's crazy about the career longevity. For
Right.
one thing, there's another interesting thing was apparently I don't know if you remember, there was Bret Hart was feuding with Jerry Lawler, and then the whole incident happened with like him getting in trouble. But he was supposed to be one of the people that was in the Jerry Lawler's team on the Survivor Series, because they had him like wearing like mask and shit, and Terry Funk was going to be one of them, and he decided that just the idea was absolutely fucking stupid, so he decided to peace out on him. He told Vince that his horse was sick, so he needed to go and take care of his horse.
Right.
So he fucking like got a plane out of there. And it turned out to be complete bullshit. He just didn't want to do the match. So then the next time that Vince had run into him, like when he brought him back to do the whole Chainsaw Charlie thing, first thing he asked him was, "Hey Terry, how's your horse?" And Terry just fucking smiled at him. He's like, "Yep,
doing good,
still kicking." But yeah,
still kicking.
He like the amount of the career longevity was absolutely crazy, because you think about he was in the NWA. He wrestled in Memphis. I watched the empty arena match he did with Lawler. It's NWA. He was in Memphis. He fucking had a career resurgence in Japan even before ECW. Obviously went to ECW, went to WCW. He was in WWF. Like he was in every fucking company as the Attitude Era was happening.
Yeah.
And then even after all that, he still kept it going. Like just absolutely crazy. And then and you see, I've seen plenty, I know you probably have too, of like shoot interviews. Nobody had a bad word to say about the guy.
No.
Like one of kind of goes against the persona that he created for himself in the ring, but more than anything, you just hear about how like kind and sweet of a guy he was. Like he was always willing to help people out. He was always willing to be, as selfless as he possibly could be. And there's a lot of people who had careers similar to his that you could not. Selfless is one of the very last adjectives you could use to describe some of those guys, that he shared a ring with. But he seemed like one of the most genuinely nicest people just to fucking ever do it. And then, of course, one of the best to ever do it. And like I watched a lot of his matches, like just the last 24 hours. He was really good at, for it being a wrestling match and doing things like suplexes and power bombs and shit like that, making it look like it is an actual real fight. Bro, like he just the way because he had a certain certain grit to him. It was a certain unpolished. It didn't look like he was sitting there choreographing things 2 hours before the match started. It looked like he was in a real fight at times. So that was one of the things he did better than perhaps anybody.
Oh yeah, man, guy was just fucking unbelievable out there, man. And yeah, it's amazing. I mean, watching that Beyond the Mat movie, the guy came off like the biggest, like you had said, he came off like such a sweetheart, like a family man, sweet man. Just all he cared about was his daughters and this and that. It was obviously, and I believe right after they told that family man story, we went to Jake Roberts, which is like the opposite. But anyway.
Right.
Um, I mean, he did. He came off like the nicest guy, and even when that movie came out, he was retiring in that movie. He did not retire, folks.
Retired and unretired several more times.
Yes, he really did. He really did. He just kept coming out of retirement, and I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? I guess, right?
There's two more that I have that the kind of memories that I think of is like the absolute best moment of when they did Shotgun Saturday Night was just Terry Funk out there. It was like the show before the Royal Rumble because the Royal Rumble was Sunday and it was Shotgun Saturday Night was like Saturday before that. Terry Funk just out there with a live microphone, just like calling Stone Cold a pussy and challenging him to a fight. And like Stone Cold just trying to get his best to go along with it. Because I mean, it was like I guess they were trying to set up an angle and it just never happened or what. But Terry Funk with a live microphone was a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
There was that, and it didn't. The last one didn't really have anything to do with it. It wasn't something that he did as much of. There's a Briscoe Brothers promo that I will always remember because they're feuding with Davey Richards and Kyle O'Reilly, and they're doing the whole MMA stick, and they're talking about how they're just tired of these like fucking assholes walking around in like tight tap out shirts and thinking that they're tough guys because they do like fucking self defense class.
Yeah.
And they're just cutting through them. And at one point, Jay Briscoe's talking about, he was like, you got your fancy tap out shirts and your kick pads and your mouthpiece. And Mark Briscoe just looks up and yells, Terry Funk ain't never wear no mouthpiece. And it was just like, that's one of those lines that I will just forever remember is Terry Funk ain't wear no mouthpiece.
Speaking of Terry Funk, I'm looking at, for some reason, I was wondering why this movie pulled up. I typed in Terry Funk's name earlier. First of all, I didn't know he had a little part in Over the Top, Stallone's movie. And I'm looking at a movie here from 1978. It is called Paradise Alley. Let's see. The Carboni brothers, Sylvester Stallone and Armand Assante, who did join up again in a little movie called Demolition Man. Was it Demolition Man? It was Demolition Man. No, Judge Dredd. I apologize. It was Judge Dredd. He played his fucking brother in Judge Dredd too. Whoa, mind blown again. But basically, it's about they're determined to leave the slums in New York. Their best escape route is a muscle-bound Victor. But Terry Funk is in, that's really all it says. Terry Funk is in this fucking movie, 1978. And Victor is played by Lee Canalito, who was a former boxer. So Terry Funk's in that. I didn't know he was in that movie too. He looks like he was friends with Stallone from what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, apparently, this is according to David Bigspan, so I'm going to take it what you will. He apparently did the fight choreography in Rocky V.
Really?
For the street fight scene.
Oh, that's right. We're right before it. He knocks down Paulie, Tommy Morrison does, and Stallone goes, hey, you knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down now?
But he did. He wrote Sylvester Stallone actually wrote like something about Terry Funk today or last night. I don't remember, but I did see it. So they did know each other for sure.
Didn't even see that, but this looks like a decent movie. I'm actually going to keep it here to buy, right?
Oh,
to buy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to buy that movie. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, this looks like a good little movie. It's also got Frank McRae in it. If you don't know who Frank McRae is, if you've ever seen Last Action Hero, he's the police boss that just screams all the whole time, and he's got smoke coming out of his ears, and he's just yelling and screaming at Schwarzenegger the whole time. And I think he might be the boss in 48 Hours also. So, but yeah, another Terry Funk movie. But yeah, I think it's funny that Sylvester Stallone, Stallone and Armando Sante had played brothers before. That just completely blew my mind. 2 times they've been brothers in movies. Very interesting. If I could find a good picture of this movie, I would show you guys the cover. Here, let me pull up images. Here we go. I got a good one here. Show you guys the cover of a young Stallone here. Let me get this pulled up a little better.
See, and I found it as Sylvester Stallone on Instagram. Rest in peace, Terry Funk, a great wrestler, witty man, and tough as leather. You were one of a kind.
Yeah. All right, there you go, Mark. There's Paradise Alley right there, Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, earlier when I was doing the Terry Funk thing, it was a lot easier to just share my browser with everybody. Stephen Butler, I definitely will watch it, and I promise you I can find this movie. I will have it by tomorrow. I'll watch it over the weekend. It looks like a good movie. It really does. So I will definitely check this out. And there you go. You can see all the other pictures of it right here on the side. Boxing right there. Obviously, that's Lee Canalito in the movie. So I'll definitely check this movie out. Let's see. What does Rotten Tomatoes give it?
You can't trust those assholes.
40% tomato meter. What the fuck do they know? Only 5 reviews, though. So it's an older movie. But anyway, you're right. I don't really go by those. So, all right. I will check that out. Most definitely. All right, Smark. What, like I said, I definitely took out the other thing I was going to talk about. It just didn't seem like a good thing. But what else do we have on these two before I guess we just not move on, but unfortunately, yeah, kind of move on.
Transition. I think that about does it. It's just, if you have people in your life that you love and care about, let them know. Shit.
Don't just let them know once. Always let them know.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently let them. Dirk says, Rotten Tomatoes, the wrestling observer of movie review.
That's it.
I got to tell you, movie critics, and I look, this isn't a movie show. I've said this 100 times before. Movie critics watch movies for a different reason than we do. Non-wrestling fans would watch wrestling for a different reason than we did too. But literally, movie critics watch movies for a completely different reason. They don't watch to just sit back and enjoy it and have a mindless day of nothing to do. That's mostly why a lot of us watch movies. I'm not going to speak for everybody. A lot of us just want to sit back, watch a movie, fucking just veg out, and most of us play on our phone while we're watching it. Let's be honest. That's what we do now. Movie critics don't do that. They sit there, they nitpick, they do this and that. So I never listen to movie critics, ever. Matter of fact, the worse the movie critics hate a movie, the more I want to see it.
Sometimes.
Most of the time. If I think it looks good, it looks good. And yes, I'll say it again. I know I like bad movies. I've admitted this before, folks. All right?
Well, I think the thing about movies, though, is like, even if you like movies and even the way that you like movies, everybody has their genre or genres.
Right.
Where it's like, there's 2 or 3 different kind of types of movies, maybe a couple more, but like that you like. But, chances are, like, if you like horror movies and action movies and stuff, you probably also might not like romantic comedies or sci-fi or whatever. But these movie reviewers, like, they have to, per their job, watch every fucking movie or, like, most of the movies that are out. So you're usually in genres that you probably don't care all that much about. Where, like, I wouldn't expect, not that they would have ever fucking reviewed this anyway, but, like, I wouldn't expect, like, Siskel and Ebert, like Norad saying, to like Terrifier. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't expect them to be big horror movie guys. It's just not a thing. But, sometimes they'll, people have to review stuff that's, like, outside of a art form that they appreciate or a genre that they enjoy, and they're not going to like it, and it's just the way it goes.
You're right. You're 100% right. Stephen Butler said Stallone did a wrestling movie back in those days. I'll have to look for that too, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you again. Look at this. I'm learning about Stallone movies tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I love this, man. You know. Yeah. But anyway, we now Smart. I guess we are going to move on, but AI. This wasn't on. This was kind of on my list, but I bet you passed right by it. AI is a kind of a thing now. AI pictures and all kinds of things like that. Did you see the pictures going around of some of the wrestlers who had passed away and what they would look like now?
I have not.
Well, Smark, I've got them all here for you.
All right, let's
They're
do it.
pretty cool, and obviously you know these AI pics. They're pretty good. Some of them are a little weird, but let's go ahead and check a few of these out real quick, folks. I thought you guys might like to see them at least on video. I know on audio this is going to be a little boring for everybody, but I apologize. There is Owen Hart, who would be 58 years old right now.
I think it looks a bit like Jeff Jarrett.
Okay.
Like you throw, well, I mean, not exactly. I'm not saying a spitting image, but like you throw a mustache on him, you give him a guitar.
Oh yeah.
Not that. I mean, he kind of looked a little bit like Jeff Jarrett when they were both like fucking tag team together. If we're being honest about it.
I can see that.
Like, I'm not saying one for one, but if it turned out that they were cousins, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Steven. Okay, it was same movie. Okay, sorry. You're right. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Pretty good though. Like I said, I this AI stuff is a little scary. I do follow one AI group, and a couple weeks back, for some reason, they were posting very sexy Miss Piggy pictures, and it was a little confusing. My boner was confused. It really was. Miss Piggy had some hot ass titties. I was amazed. But anyway, that would be Owen.
I think that was just Amy Schumer.
Well, now Eddie, let's just move on to Eddie. Eddie Guerrero, folks, would be 54 years old, which again is pretty shocking. I believe we lost Eddie in, I want to say 2005's Mark.
That's right, about
I
2005.
think 2005 might be the right one. So that is Eddie. Now, if you look at Eddie Guerrero in this picture, Mark, he looks a lot like a gentleman who was in a little movie called Wolf of Wall Street. John Berthal. For some reason, they made him look almost exactly alike. Look at this.
Yeah, I was gonna say he does look like he would be like the henchman of a villain in an action movie.
Yeah, look. This is right from Wolf of Wall Street right here. Look. Exactly what I think he looks like. But anyway, I'm just messing around.
Actually, kind of a little bit got like this guy Steiner, like facial hair going.
I think he's got a little young Steiner right there.
With the little fucking the soul patch on the bottom there.
I would go. I almost got a little Ken Shamrock in him too.
A little bit.
A little bit. My God, this guy looks like everybody. This poor fucking guy. He was also in Grudge Match though with Stallone. We're having a Stallone night tonight. Stallone and De Niro were in that movie. Now we got one of Piper's Mark. There we go. I think that's a very good rendering of what Piper would look like, and it's hard to and it's hard to believe that was what 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Another one that's crazy. Then they made Macho. I don't know why they made Macho Man a little Willie Nelson and a little Tommy Chong. Or more Tommy Chong. Wait. Is it more Tommy Chong? Oh, wrong one. Is it more Tommy Chong?
It's more. To me, it's more Tommy Chong because when I think about Willie Nelson, I think about like the long fucking braid.
Oh, the glasses are a little Willie.
Yeah, it's true.
But definitely a little Tommy Chong. A little Tommy Chong. Wow, Piper was 2015. My God.
Almost 10 years ago.
Time fucking flies. 8 years ago. Fuck, man. Anyway, this would be. Hold on, let me get rid of Tommy Chong. Hold on, let me get rid of Tommy Chong here. We got Dusty. Picture of Dusty, 77. He would be. I would like to think Dusty would be a little happier than this picture.
Nah, what's happening in this picture is he's just listened to hit the latest like 20-minute Cody Rhodes "I Love America" and My Father promo. It's just, you need some new material, baby. I'm very proud of you, son, but maybe watch a movie or two and do what they're doing.
There you go. Maybe. He looks a little Brian Dennehy here.
And then he also, I believe, passed away.
I think he has. Yeah. Now, this one, I'm not sure why they made this one. I don't know why, but he looks like an old Finn Balor here. I don't know why they made Benoit. I really don't. I don't want to get into everything. I don't. I really don't. We've gone.
No, I think what's the better question is why is he shirtless? Like none of the other ones were shirtless. Like why did AI find it so necessary to make him fucking ripped and shredded?
I don't know. But to be honest, let's just there he is, folks, Chris Benoit, and let's just move on. I don't know, and I don't even want to. I don't want to keep him on screen for too long, to be honest with you. That's enough. That was enough. Chris Benoit would have been bald by that age. Oh, he would definitely. Well, he was going bald here, but yeah, he probably would have been from the roids. But this is the one that I think would probably be the most exact render. What Andre would look like at 75. I think this one is pretty good. I think this one is pretty good. Andre the Giant, 75 years old. Like I said, I think this AI stuff is pretty cool. I can see where some artists may not like it. You don't have to be able to draw anymore. What you have to be able to do is come up with the best, prompts for them. I've got a couple on my phone. I mean, you can create whatever you want. Pretty fun.
It's certainly interesting. I'll say that much.
It is, and I mean, you don't even have to be an artist anymore. You can just go create your own pics and do what you need to do. But
well, I mean, not even just like the photos, but like people are just able to just fucking make songs from people who like the artists that didn't actually make that song. So
yeah, that. I mean, really, that's what this whole strike is about right now. The actors strike. I'm sorry, the writers and actors strike. That's what it's about. The AI shit. People want to actually, I mean, they literally want to take their likeness and put it as an AI so they can just make movies with them forever. And they don't have to. I mean, I get what they're doing here, man. And I saw Sean Astin make a pretty fiery speech at that thing. I didn't realize he was one of the like heads of that strike.
I mean, like at some point, not only is it like they want to put them in movies, but like inevitably they're going to just start appearing in commercials and shit too.
Anything they want to do, they'll just think about it, dude. They can just sell the likeness. Boom, here, sell it. Boom, here, sell it again. Boom, here. They own it, and they can just lease it out to people. That's scary shit, dude. That's scary shit. And I got to, I've learned a little more, and I'm seeing what these writers and actors are out there doing. I don't think the writers need to be as scared. I think the actors should be a little more scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I do. But I thought it would be pretty cool to show you some of those pics. And everyone in the chat room. I thought you might want to see them too. I didn't know if everybody had seen them, but I thought they were pretty cool. So I thought I'd lay them on out there. But all right. So let's go ahead and roll a little bit here, Smark.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into a little bit of a little talk about Bully Ray here. Don't usually agree with Bully Ray, but Smark, now both companies right now, WWE and AEW. WWE's doing the WrestleMania over in Wembley. Also, AEW will be over there this weekend with All In. And they've both sold a shitload of tickets. Like, I think both of them are reaching 90s, maybe high 80s, 90,000, something like that at this point. Yes, Tubba Ray.
For whatever it's worth, Mania's in Philly.
Philly, that's right. What are they having over in London? I forgot.
All in. They're having All In at Wembley. WWE is doing it in Philadelphia. I think they're doing something in England. I mean, they did Money in the Bank in England.
I think it's the WrestleMania. Whatever they're doing, they've sold a shitload of tickets, and it's Bully Ray says, "Congrats to both AEW and WWE for the huge houses they are drawing for All In," and it says Mania.
Well, yeah, but the Mania tickets are also being sold right now.
That's
But it's
right.
it's in Philadelphia.
You're right.
But they're both
You're
on
right. You're
sale
right.
like concurrently.
I don't know why I thought they were both in London. They're not. You're right.
It's an easy connection to make though.
I'm serious, dude. I'm really having a hard time getting my brain around the shit going on today. So, but anyway, they're both drawing great numbers. And as usual, you've got the diehards of both companies bragging about both numbers. There's literally arguments about both numbers. Oh, look, AEW can't outdraw WWE. Oh, look, WWE can't outdraw AEW. Folks, for once, let's listen to Bully Ray. Congrats to both companies. Congrats to wrestling. Congrats to the fans, folks, that are out there spending money and buying tickets. Seriously, let's get over this fucking tribalism bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think it's time now? We got to stop.
Well, yeah, like especially because I've been seeing that a lot with everything that's been going on with Edge. Like there's the rumors, the scuttlebutt that he might be making a stop in at AEW to do some shit. Could probably end up doing some shit with Christian before he retires. And there's a lot of people fighting it, like acting like he gives a flying fuck whatsoever about the AEW WWE war, if you want to call it that. It's like he doesn't care about it because you see comments like, oh, he's not going to the minor leagues, or oh, he's finally sick of the feds bullshit. And it's like he doesn't give a fuck. He wants to work. If he does end up going there, he wants to work with his friend before he retires. Like, it's really not that real. It's that simple.
Yeah. And you know what? I got no. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. If he wants to stay home with his kids and his wife, he's earned the fucking right to do that. If he wants to go to AEW and work with Christian one last time, he's earned the fucking right to do that. I will say one thing about Edge we all have to remember, and Christian. They were both very smart with their money. They could both retire right now and be set for life. That was said when Edge retired. In the beginning, he was set for life back then.
Right.
So imagine what he is now. He's had movies, he's had this, that. So he's going to be fine. But it's just, with that and with this ticket thing, this is good for wrestling. This is good for the fans. This is good for so many more things. We all just need to fuck the bullshit, folks. Just fuck the bullshit. It's like you just said the war between AEW and WWE. What fucking war? What night are they on the same night? Same time? What night?
Mm-hmm.
None. Not one night during the week are they on the same times. So let's.
I mean, every so often they were having SummerSlam and Collision were running simultaneously, but it's not the same thing because one's a pay-per-view or premium live event, pal. And the other's a TV show.
Folks, we just talked about two deaths. One of a very young man who died suddenly.
That's true. No reps at Friday nights.
Yeah, all right, but they're not on the same time.
So you have the.
I said same night and time.
That also implies that people watch Rampage.
Well, there's that too.
It can't be true.
There's that too, but I mean, we just talked about these two deaths, and is it really worth? Think about that. Is it really worth any more worrying about fucking who's selling more tickets? Any of that money going in your pockets, folks? No. So who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Norab. Now you're just fucking arguing semantics, you little son of a bitch. You stop it, you Corbin loving bastard. All right.
You asked and answered.
I'm messing with you, man. Thank you. But anyway,
Are they
I
still
don't
doing Velocity? Is Velocity running head to head with Collision?
know. Velocity and Dark are running together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jacked. That was one of the shows that they ran.
I used to watch
Fucking
that.
Live Wire, Superstars,
Dude, I
all
would
kinds
come
of shit.
home hammered from the fucking bar and watch Jacked. Hammered.
I would watch all of them when I was a kid because if it was wrestling, I'd watch it even if I had no idea fucking WWF or otherwise. I watched Superstars. I watched fucking like I said, Shotgun Saturday Night, Sunday Night Heat. Up until I hit about 14 or 15, I would watch like all of that shit just religiously. I was even watching. We'd occasionally get because I don't live 5 hours away from Memphis, but every so often they would show Memphis television, like Memphis wrestling, on one of the local channels here, and I'd watch it every now and again. And like even the funny part was always that Jerry Lawler was always involved in some form or fashion. Like he'd be on the TV, he'd do every episode of the TV show, whether they were showing like an archive match or promo or whatever, or it was an actual promo that he would do. He was on there. Obviously, Brian Christopher was on there. Like just it didn't matter what year or what time, they would always be on there.
Yeah. Oh shit! Dirk says us and Castle Chronicles, Kevin Castle's show. We're in a war. That's right. That darn Kevin. You know what? I fucking like Kev. I can't even do it.
If I see
I
you on
like
the
Kevin
street,
Castle.
I'm gonna fuck you up, despite the fact that I don't know what you look like.
He's a big guy. Kevin's a big tattooed motherfucker. He'll fuck
All right,
you up.
Don Tony. If I see you on the street, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Don Tony's 6'2" and a big dude too. But
Boy,
you're 6'1". It's not a big deal. Don
Brian
Tony.
Alvarez. If I see you out here on these streets,
Just remember, he's got a bad back.
ooh, okay.
Little tip.
This here,
Little
Denise
tip.
Salcedo, I'll fuck you up.
Oh, us versus TNA. Listen, that's not even. Listen. Okay.
I think it's comparable. I saw the fucking Bobby Fish promo. We're probably neck and neck at this point.
Yeah, our whatever. We're winning this war against TNA. I don't know about that one. Listen, I know we're not a huge show. I've said before, I like being the small show we are. I really do. I do. We say things that we probably shouldn't, and we get away with it for now. And I'm very happy about that. So that's good. That's good. But anyway,
That is really the key thing. Is that, like, in order to become a bigger show, you have to be active on Twitter, and also to become a bigger show, you're not allowed to call other people who tweet about wrestling like fucking idiots or like inbred or just mouth breathers, illiterates, those kinds of things, cocksuckers. You can't do that, and then that just takes the fun away from like 80% of what it is that we can do.
Well, I mean, that works for a lot of people. I don't know what you know about that, but it does. Calling your fans that it works for a lot of people.
I didn't mean fans. I meant like
no. I mean like, the people on Twitter and everything. Do we do that? Maybe I do.
I do that.
I don't know.
But
you're right. If I was more active and you were more active on social media, it would help a lot. But you know what? I'm close to 50. I don't care. I'm not going to take pictures of my fucking food. I'm not going to tell everyone where I'm going, when I'm going, what I'm watching, what I'm about to watch. You know why? It's none of your fucking business. Sorry.
That's it.
That's it. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care. My wife will sit there and be on social and take pictures. Oh, look, I'm going to put this on Facebook.
Well, because there'll be shit where it's like, oh, who's better? Like fucking Randy Orton in 2008 or fucking Edge in 2005. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I really and truly don't care. Like I watch it and I watch them shows and the matches and I enjoy them, but like I'm not sitting out here and being. I literally saw a tweet earlier that was like, who would win in a match between Big Dog Roman Reigns and Tribal Chief Roman Reigns? And I was like, you guys realize that you're eventually going to die. Like step outside for like 5 seconds. It won't kill you. And if it does, then you will have done something better than discussing which version of Roman Reigns would win in a fight. Like,
Roman
just
Reigns.
try.
Roman Reigns is gonna win that fight. That's who's gonna win, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Which
Right.
is, I see that and I'm just like, I can't. I can never do this. Like,
I
this is
know,
why we'll
man.
never get bigger because I can't put out fucking stupid tweets like that. My Twitter name is x boobs 420. That I mean, that tells you what you need to know about how seriously I take Twitter. Which did kind of make me laugh because Dirk also sent me a tweet about, I believe it was the Bray Wyatt or the Terry Funk passing away, and it's a very somber thing. But to think about the fact that like he started to type in XX boobs to share out this information, it's like I'm a fucking child.
Oh, aren't we all? Aren't we all? But anyway, yeah, folks, let's for once agree with Bully Ray, and let's listen to him for once. I just think it's just it's getting too far at this point. But you know what? I know me saying it ain't gonna make a fucking difference. It is what social media is nowadays, so there's nothing you can do. I hope y'all can't hear my dog licking and eating behind me.
Or mine scratching their head and not masturbating, like you fucking weirdo said that my dog does.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
That was from last week. The accusations of my dog fornicating with itself.
No, I was saying you were masturbating. That's all right. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, not presently. As we explained, there's reasons why I can't be on Twitter all the time.
Of course, of course, of course. Hands are too sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sticky keys are always activated, my friend.
That's it. Sticky smark. Sticky smarky. All
I have
right.
no idea what the fuck those things do. I just know that if you hold down the shift key for too long, it starts talking to you about sticky keys.
It does. Correct. Okay. Speaking of sticking, we're gonna stick to talking a little bit of Bully Ray. And you know, Smart, I think it was last week when we were talking. I was talking a little bit about Eddie Kingston looking a little slow in the ring, running to the ring, doing anything pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bully Ray is, I hate to say, but he kind of agrees a little bit here. Of course, on his the latest episode of Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray was talking a little bit about Eddie Kingston. Now he did say that he really does love Eddie Kingston. He actually compared Eddie Kingston to Dusty Rhodes in his believability and authenticity on the microphone, mainly. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. And his body shape. So, but here's what Bully Ray said about um, Eddie Kingston going out there. He said, I think all these nagging injuries or major injuries that he's had over his career, now that he's getting older, are going to catch up with him. He said, my genuine concern for Eddie is that over the 20 years of him wrestling, being injured and never being able to afford the right care and have his injuries taken care of properly. He needs to be careful when he's in a run-in situation that his run-in is not featured or highlighted. When I saw Eddie run in last night, they could have probably done this in a way where Eddie didn't have to run. At one point, I thought he was going to fall over. Now, this was from the 16th of August, so this was last week's episode, not last night's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which is when we mentioned Eddie Kingston looking, or I'm sorry, you did, I'm not going to speak for you. I mentioned Eddie Kingston looking a little not good out there for, like I said, listen, I like the guy. I just think he might want to manage someone for maybe a year and heal.
But the thing about this is like he's saying that his like nagging injuries are very built up. He fucking had a hernia. Well, like I don't think there's a long-standing history of like athletes having to retire because of nagging ball problems.
No,
Like
well,
I've yet to hear that. But
there's
the only other injury that was like significant that had caused him to miss a deal of time was, I believe, he broke his ankle or foot in CZW. And other than that, there's like he hadn't really had any injuries that caused him to miss a significant portion of time.
well, unless Bully knows about some injuries we don't.
Perhaps.
That he didn't go in for, that he didn't have, like he said, he's more worried that he at the time he couldn't afford the right care. A lot of people when they can't afford care will just be like, it'll go away.
Mm.
And it does, but it doesn't heal right. Like, for instance, this finger right here that I can literally just bend up and push, and it's all fucked up. It is completely fucked up. And if I put my
I
hand
will
in,
say though, oh, go ahead.
just look how fucking I can reach that finger all the way. Look at it.
Mm.
It bends way higher than all my other fingers. Never healed. I broke it. It fucked up. I can only do that with that one finger lifted up that high. What you gonna do, man?
Mm.
Shit gets fucked
They're
up.
saying Nikita retired because of hernia. I'm hoping he doesn't Nikita Lyons.
And by the way, not that one. Hernias are not only in the balls. You can herniate a lot of things.
I will say this though, that like I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe there were some injuries that he just never went to the doctor for. Because he does seem like the kind of guy that when recommended to go to the doctor, he would respond with, "Oh, I would look like a fucking woman."
Like I said,
Like
it'll
he
go
for
away.
sure think like he's definitely called like the doctor like a couple of choice words that he probably ought not repeat in today's climate.
I ain't some fucking broad.
Mm-hmm.
Save that for your women that come in here. The broads, not me. Got any
Tai
painkillers?
Chi next to us. What the fuck do you think?
Give me the painkillers.
Yes, Dirk. I know that you meant Nikita Koloff, but it was, you see, I was making. Sure.
You give me the painkillers. Fuck that fucking boot. Okay.
Sorry.
I mean,
I grew up watching I grew up watching ECW, partner. You give me some painkillers and some super glue. You got his new friend.
Painkillers and super glue. Okay. All right. All right, Smart. We only got one more thing here to talk about. Two more quick things to talk about. And then we'll do a quick run through AEW and then we'll do predictions. How's that sound?
I have one that I didn't send to you just because
Bring it on.
time got away from me, but it's a little bit. It's sort of a positive, like upbeat story.
Ooh.
It depends on how you think about it, but it is at best tangentially related to wrestling.
Okay.
And you'll discover why.
Okay.
We may be getting close to having a 4 horsemen in the Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This is ABC 7 Chicago, a source that we read quite a bit from on this show. There's big news for Bears legend Steve McMichael Wednesday. The defensive lineman learned he's one of the final 3 being considered for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Each finalist requires 80% approval from a vote that will be held early next year by the Pro Football Hall of Fame's full 50-person selection committee to be a part of the class of 2024, Hall of Famers said in a tweet. It's been an all-out blitz by family members and former teammates to get Super Bowl champ honored at the same time as he battles MLS. Or ALS. He's not battling Major League Soccer. It's the call that Misty McMichael said has kept her husband, Steve Michael, going for the last couple of years. Even though ALS has left him bedridden and unable to speak or feed himself, the former Bears star still wears his 1985 Super Bowl ring. His mind is fully engaged, and the Hall of Fame means the world to him. Misty McMichael can hardly contain her excitement when talking to her husband of 22 years about the Hall of Fame. She got the call from the Hall of Fame Senior Committee Tuesday afternoon, letting her know McMichael made the cut. She held a party to celebrate Tuesday night, but had to wait to share the news. The Hall of Fame insisted she kept it quiet until the official announcement at noon Wednesday. Quote, "It's given us a mission for something else to focus on besides death. It's given us life and another year with him. I can't ask more than that. It's happening. It's finally happening. We waited a long time. He has. I just want him to be able to die in peace." McMichael made an appearance at his party Tuesday night by Zoom. Longtime Bears writer Diane Papelli is on the Hall of Fame committee, made the case for McMichael to other voters. He said, "For him, this was not a sympathy vote because of McMichael's condition. Quote, I guess I'd like to think that there might have been some divine providence involved because this is the way things are supposed to be," he said. McMichael has been eligible for the Hall of Fame for 25 years, and Pompey said this is the first time the other voters have discussed his case. The Bears are planning a celebration at their season opening game next month. The new inductees will be introduced before the Super Bowl. Some of McMichael's supporters are already planning to see him enshrined in the Hall of Fame. They have organized a caravan to Canton next August.
That's pretty fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. I had read another article about it, and it's given this article that I was reading had said it's given his family like something else to focus on, something else to think about. So, him too, because at this moment, he's bedridden, he can't really talk, he has a hard time, they have to feed him and stuff, and it's given the whole family something to rally around, and it's given him like a reason to keep going, and it seems like it's a good possibility that he's going to make it, and it is not at all just a charity case. Like, if you actually look at his stats, he is second in Bears history in terms of sacks, and that is a long-standing franchise with a history of good defensive players. And I could spend all day talking about the various defensive players from the Bears that I've come to be a fan of, but he has a place there. So it's very interesting. Hopefully he makes it. And he needs 80% of the votes. And I can't imagine being that asshole that's going to sit there and read the stories and think about what his family's been through and think about how much it would mean to him. Just fucking let him in. Don't be the asshole that's that votes no. Don't be that fucking guy.
Don't be that guy.
It's not going to tarnish Jerry Rice's legacy to share the Hall of Fame with the fucking former Four Horsemen. Let the man in. Let him do his thing.
Absolutely. ALS is a crazy fucking, it attacks the nervous system, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't attack the brain. You're still completely 100% with it. You are there. You know everything going on. You just can't do anything. You can't speak. You can't say what you want. You can't feed yourself. It just breaks down your nervous system, but it doesn't break down your brain. And that's probably one of the scariest things about ALS is everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Awful. Just an awful disease, man. But I hope you're right. I don't be that guy. Nobody be that guy.
Also, we don't have to read the full article, but did you see the comments that Tony Khan made that are just, I believe, absolutely fucking spectacular? I'm sorry?
Is that the comments on can't we all I can't make everyone get along?
Uh-huh.
Oh, please. Bring it on. That's my last story, but bring it on right now.
All right. I'll save you a little bit of reading energy since I'm doing that so well tonight.
I got
Tony
a picture
Khan
for
recently
you.
commented on wrestlers in his company not getting along with one another. The AEW president told Hollywood Reporter that while the situation in AEW's locker room is not ideal, he's not certain it's necessary for talent on his roster to like each other. Quote, I want the best wrestlers in AEW. I want the best roster. And there may be some of them that don't get along with each other backstage or on TV. It's not ideal, but it's a reality. And I can't make everyone get along, Khan said. If only that was your job. Quote, I'm not sure it's necessary, even in the best interest of pro wrestling, for everybody to get along. But ideally, everybody's going to be able to focus on their matches and putting on the best show for the fans. And I think that's what we've been doing. We've had really strong ratings, so even though wrestlers backstage hate each other and don't want to be friends with each other, I think we all agree this is a really exciting time for the company. Khan continued to say that he wants to create an environment in AEW where wrestlers who think they're the best are given the opportunity to prove it. Quote, there are a lot of people around here who think they're the best, and I think a lot of them have a valid claim that they're the best. And what I'm trying to do is to create an environment where everybody can go out and prove it multiple times per week and create a platform where fans can decide who the best wrestlers are and what the best rivalries are. The backstage drama in AEW has continued this month as the company draws closer to Sunday's All In event from London's Wembley Stadium. A report that Ryan Nemeth, we talked about this last week, was sent home from the August 12th collision due to prior conflicts with CM Punk was followed by news that similar situations had occurred with Hangman Page, Matt Hardy, Jack Perry, Christopher Daniels, probably Cole Cabana, but they don't say that in this article. The situation was addressed by our own Dave Meltzer, and by our own, I mean F4W. We don't work with that man. But anyways, yes, Tony Khan says that basically it is not his job to make wrestlers cooperate with each other. This is like big assistant manager energy.
Okay.
Where he's just like, look, I'm not in charge of this shit. Like, just stop threatening to fight each other in the parking lot. I can't do it. It's like, yes, you literally can. It's believe it or not, it's your company. Strangest thing about that.
Okay. You know what? I agree with one statement he said here. It's not necessary for the talent on his roster to like each other. He's fucking right. It's not necessary. But herein lies the issue. You have little leaks. Little fucking leaks that leak shit to Meltzer and your company. Okay? You know it. We know it. The whole wrestling world knows who those leaks are. Am I right, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
They're young and they're bucks. And we know who they are. So you're right. The talent does not have to like each other. They can have these backstage inner fights. That's fine. If you can keep it fucking quiet. But you can't. You need to give his job, Tony's job, is to give the perception that these guys are all back there, all for one thing, making this company succeed. Nothing more should matter. All the bullshit, it's just like any business. If there's shit going on in your office, you don't involve the customer. You don't involve the client. It's inner. It's inner office bullshit, and it happens everywhere. So yeah, he's right. Talent doesn't have to fucking get along in order to fucking make money. We've said that a ton of times. Opie and Anthony fucking hated each other for a decade and made fucking tons of fucking money. It can happen, but you've got to give the perception that you're in charge. You can't be letting your fucking little bucks go out there and leak news to Meltzer about the inner and your backstage fights. If he could stop that, then none of this would matter. But he can't, Smark. So you know what? It does become his job to fucking make these guys like each other, to fucking make these guys get along. Because if it's going to be out there in the media, that's the only choice he has. And like I said last week and a long time ago, and I'm going to stop on this one, if he can't fucking nut up and do the fucking job, hire someone with the balls that can. And I'm going to leave it right there. What's going on, Noe?
Yeah, I mean, I get seems like he doesn't want to be the bad guy. Like, he doesn't want to make enemies. He wants everybody to like him and shit like that. It's like, sometimes you got to make those tough decisions if you're in charge for yourself. Second off, yeah, not everybody has to be friends. They don't have to be singing Kumbaya with each other and going to each other's birthday parties and all that bullshit, but they have to be able to work together. Like, there are all kinds of history in wrestling of these people who absolutely fucking despise each other, but still work together. Like, fucking Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, it happened. They fucking hated each other's guts. They put on a couple of good matches together, had a good feud with each other, that whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. They don't have to be friends. They have to do their job. Like, you can't have it to the point where it's like, okay, you have to sit there and have like a fucking shit, like a cork board, like it's an episode of like CSI or Law and Order or whatever. When you're booking feuds, where it's like, all right, this guy's not a doesn't like this guy's friend, and that guy doesn't like that guy's friend, so
Mm-hmm.
we can't put these guys together, and we can't have book this feud, we can't have this match, and so on and so forth. It's like fucking ridiculous. It's like, okay, you either put your bullshit aside, or you fight each other and fucking whatever happens, or you get booked and you do your job. Like, if you don't want to work
Mm-hmm.
with this person, you don't want to work with that person, like, good, here's the door, get the fuck out.
Right. They don't have to be singing, back there fucking huddled up singing Kumbaya, but you should give the impression they are.
Yeah.
But again, when you've got these, leaks in your fucking company, plug the fucking leaks. Then you can plug some of this shit up. Then maybe you don't have to be in charge of it. But I don't know, man. Listen, and I agree with you. I get it. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. He doesn't want to be the guy. But you know what? Would you rather all this bullshit happen? This is what's going to happen if you don't want to be the bad guy. You're going to lose control. And they're going to start running shit. CM Punk's going to be kicking everyone out of the fucking show if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon it's going to be Punk and Punk. That's going to be Collision.
It's gonna be week 48 of fucking FTR versus Miro and Joey Mercury.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know, man. We've gone over this a few times. And his answers are getting more and more, in my opinion, bullshit. You're right. He's deflecting here. Oh, this isn't my job to make them all get along. Bullshit.
Whose job is it, apparently? Because, I mean, fucking, they just sent home your talent relations person because Punk didn't like him.
Yeah.
But Christopher Daniels is not allowed to do his job, so apparently you have to like start doing your job. And
you're right.
The pimp handle.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, if Christopher Daniels is doing his job, Christopher Daniels has someone to answer to. Who does he answer to? Probably Tony Khan. Dude, it all gets kicked up above. It falls it falls downhill. But the blame should go higher than that, which it usually doesn't, but it needs to. I'm sorry. It is his job to make these guys either make them get along or give the perception that they are getting along. Like I said, they don't have to be fucking singing Kumbaya, but they should fucking definitely give the perception that those guys are. The only thing, the only perception that those guys should be giving off is that the company is number one, not who's fucking working what night, not who's a Punk guy and who's a Bucks guy. Good God, I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you, man, if it's going to keep going like this, just fucking close the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Close the fucking doors.
Even if you don't want to do it, get a fucking guy who will.
Right.
Like, get you a John Laurinaitis, and perhaps not literally, but,
Yeah.
but get you a John Laurinaitis, get you a Nick Khan, get you a type of person that's like, they're going to take care of shit, and if you have to fire people, they're willing to do that. Like, get the people who are willing to do the unpopular things.
Get you a fucking Scott Steiner.
There you go. Maybe not.
No, fuck that. Bring in Scott Steiner. He will not
I don't want fucking Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston getting fired because they're fat. I can't. I got to draw the line with Scott Steiner. My idea last week was Ming. I think Ming would work well because fucking Punk's gonna get Ming's face. I think not.
Yeah. All right. Nobody wants to know who the owner of the wrestling WWE. That would be. Well, right now Vince, but very soon. Vince is not going to have the controlling stake in that company, and it will be Endeavor, which is UFC. So, but you know what? Listen, we still hear about little backstage bullshit going on in WWE, but let's face it. How many times do we hear about backstage fights in WWE?
Seldom.
Seldom. Exactly. Rarely. You know why? They've at least got the balls to keep their fucking mouth shut and make sure people do. So I don't know. I really don't want. I've ranted on this way too much in the past few weeks, and I apologize. But I just think Tony Khan, and like you just said, either do the fucking job or hire someone who can. It's plain. It's simple. It's easy.
I mean, even like fucking Impact slash TNA, I can really only think of like one instance where it's like when they had Bubba the Love Sponge and he was talking too much shit, and Kong had to fuck him up. That was like the only instance that where it's ever been reported really that something like that's happened in Impact. So it's like fucking if TNA can be ran better than your company in terms of like reducing the infighting and drama and politics,
Yeah.
that says a lot.
And that wasn't even backstage. That was fucking on air. We saw that happen. That was live TV with
She
Kong.
smacked him up backstage.
And after she had just done it live on television. So it was fucking it was what it was. But AEW still though is not having a very good press week. Which they should be. They've got this whole thing going on this weekend with All In, but Smark, as usual, on a Friday, that's when the good news comes out. Not the good news, but the good news. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like when I mean
Juicy
bad.
tidbits.
Right. Like when I mean bad, I mean good. AEW, they put AEW star, Cash Wheeler.
I enjoy that you take umbrage with that. Like I read the article twice, so I couldn't find the quotation marks.
I should have put them. He was arrested. It said last Friday. There's a lot of. I'm kind of glad that we waited. That the story did come out a week ago because, man, this story was all over the place. This story went from, did he beat up his wife? Did he do this? Did he do that? So here's what supposedly happened with Cash Wheeler. Now, he was arraigned last week, which was streamed live. That was what we saw was the arraignment. I guess this all happened at the end of July, and they finally issued his warrant on August 3rd. He finally turned himself in last week. Okay? The offense itself, though, was committed on July 27th. Now, what the offense is, folks, is basically there was a road rage incident between this Cash Wheeler and another gentleman. And Cash Wheeler supposedly pointed a gun at this man while driving, passed him on the right, and pointed a gun at him. Okay. Now, wrong. It's wrong to do. I get it. So what they're doing here is they're saying the victims don't know each other. This is a third-degree felony in Florida, punishable by up to 5 years in jail and a $5,000 fine. Now, boy, I'll tell you, what we don't know, folks, and Smark, is what led up to this. They kind of make it sound like Cash just kind of drove up beside this guy and pointed his gun. Something had to lead up to this. You don't just drive past somebody and point your gun at them out of nowhere.
I mean, I don't, but
I don't either, and I have a gun. Okay, I don't either. I wouldn't.
Yeah, because I mean, you're supposed to keep your hands at 9 and 3,
10-2.
10 and 2, but I mean, you're you can't do that if you're brandishing a pistol at someone.
No, no, you cannot. No, you
My
cannot.
hands are a
Now,
little bit bigger, so I have to start at different times.
there you go. There you go. Now, he did have to surrender all his guns.
To lighten the mood, Christopher Gates says.
Are you sure he's a gentleman? Yeah, we are lightening the mood a little bit here. And I really got a feeling he's not going to be in a lot of trouble here. I don't know what.
No, absolutely not. Nor should he be, because this is the
What?
first time in like the entire history of FTR that one of them has done something cool. So we need not
Well,
punish them.
there's that. I
Because
will.
I mean, if it was fucking Dax, like, he would fucking insist that the guy pulled over because he probably like cut him off or something. Let's just say
I would
he would
assume.
insist if it were Dax, he would probably insist that the guy pulled him over, and he would then go on a 40-minute tirade about like how the guy's purposely cut him off because of his accent and because he hates his daughters or some bullshit like that. And just he would just really the guy would ask for Cash's gun after that.
I guess so. So, Christopher K wants to know why people pull their guns for every little argument. I don't think they do. I wouldn't. I
It
don't.
was Florida. I mean, it's sort of an environment.
Actually, were they in Florida or was this in North Carolina?
You said they were in Florida.
It was in Orlando. I apologize. You're right. You're right. This was originally reported by the Orlando Sentinel. And yeah, I mean, I whatever. But I will say if he has a LTC license to carry, no matter what, he should lose it for this. If you can't fucking keep your cool and not pull your fucking gun on someone, you do not deserve the right to carry a gun anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think you do. They should pull his fucking license. He should not be able to carry firearms anymore. If they slap him with a felony, he won't be able to carry firearms anymore. But I think at minimum, they should pull his LTC for this. If he
Do you
has
think
one.
that they could potentially AEW could work out a deal with like WWE if they in fact own the rights to the Slam Jam album and see if he can maybe get Cash to like his theme song to be like Mr. Bang Bang?
That would be good only if it was him and Arn Anderson both. And I think now Arn Anderson needs to manage FTR. Glock
Please do it.
Anderson and fucking, let's call him Mr. Guns, Cash Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Bang Bang.
That's it, Mr. Bang Bang. I like it. But obviously, we're joking. So he doesn't have any criminal record.
Actually, not. Like if they put Arn Anderson with them
That'd be
because
awesome.
of this, I would be totally fucking. Nobody got hurt. Like the guy probably got scared.
Thank God.
But, like, yeah, I mean, yes, thank God. Obviously, like, but we wouldn't be having this conversation. He'd be in jail.
Well,
like if he did something,
well,
I hope.
and let me tell you something scary. This is Florida. There's something in Florida called the Stand Your Ground law, sir. If this other man driving had a gun,
let me revise it. If the guy that he shot was also white, he would be in jail.
No,
that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Race has nothing to do with any of this. All I'm saying is, if he were driving, and I see you, Smart, and he pointed a gun at that guy, and that guy had a gun of his own, and reached out and started shooting, and told the police officer I was in fear of my life when I saw a gun pointed at me, I defended myself. Cash could be on the fucking street dead, and that guy would be 100% within his rights to do what he did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you don't go around pulling guns out on people.
Right.
So at the very least impolite.
Yeah. So Cash Wheeler might want to consider himself lucky this wasn't another fucking Florida redneck with a fucking gun.
Mm.
Like me. But, I mean, seriously, he would have been. Especially in Florida, stand your ground law. There's been some fucked up cases in Florida that have been Well, Christopher Kane, I think they were both white, so this would
It's
have applied in
kind of
Florida.
what I alluded to earlier.
Is is he going with a Zimmerman thing here? Okay, is he? Is that what he's doing?
Well, when you just said that there are some fucked up stand your ground rules in Florida, I was like, yeah.
The
Historically speaking, that has
George
been the
Zimmerman was
case.
before the stand your ground rule, which back in the THT days, that we were talking about that case. Me and
We
Shaheen, I
sure were.
remember that we were talking about that. Um, Trayvon Martin, yeah, yeah. I I knew in Florida that guy was going to get off. All he had to do was prove he was in fear of his life, and it worked. And it
Yeah, I
fucking
mean, I
worked.
knew that was going to happen too.
I didn't agree with it. I didn't think it was right, but that's got nothing to do with me, folks. I'm sorry. Now, once again, Mr. Deflection Tony Khan was asked about this whole case, though, Smark, during a little call he had on Tuesday, and he said, and I quote, here, let's go ahead and pull this bad boy back up here, and I quote, he said, "I can't."
Great.
Thank you. I can't comment on the specifics at this time because I don't know everything. Understood. I'm still learning facts, but based on the information we have at this time, we're still keeping an eye on that situation. And at this time, I think it's a very inconclusive situation.
Look, it's not my job to keep my talent from brandishing guns at
Ah,
civilians.
no brandishing. Can't brandish. Good eye. Good one. Good one.
Like
Yeah.
Punk said, he could pistol whip that man, and I said, all right. I said, thanks for the house, Phil.
Tony said it differs from other times where we've come in and weighed in on a situation and acted on a situation based on evidence, because in this case and everything we're looking at, I don't think we have those facts right now. At this point, it's rather inconclusive, but I do look very much forward to the match, and we'll keep an eye out throughout this weekend or this week as long as it's a pending situation at what's happening. Now, here's my thing. Here's my question to you, Mr. Schmark, and everyone else out there. If this match wasn't already booked at All In, would this guy be going bye-bye? And FTR
No.
be fucked? You don't think so still?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, honestly,
I'm with
I
you
know
here.
it sounds ridiculous, but literally, they're Punk's best friends. And I know that that sounds crazy, but they're Punk's best friends. Like, fucking, that's why that's why Christopher Daniels was sent home. Because how they treated Ace Steel, but Christopher Daniels was involved too, and they didn't do anything to him, so it was bullshit, blah, 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 all this kind of nonsense. So, yeah, I would believe that they would still be there because of just the politics of it all. Like, just there are people in any company, honestly, wrestling or otherwise, but there are people in the company who, depending on who you know, they can get away with more than the average bear could.
Yeah. And I mean, basically, you said exactly what I was thinking. They're Punk guys. They ain't going nowhere. And, Tony's taking this situation by situation. I take a lot of things situation by situation too, but I don't run a wrestling company that is in the public eye. So I don't know, man. This is again another crazy one, but I do think at minimum they need to take this man's guns. If you can't fucking control your temper enough to not pull your gun when you're driving, you don't deserve that right. We can take
Really
that.
want the Young Bucks to win and then the pay-per-view, just so that I could listen to people discussing whether or not them losing a tag title belt was punishment for him brandishing a gun at a civilian.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're going to be in for if the Young Bucks win. Like, is this punishment? Like, he pulled a fucking gun on somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe, who cares?
Yeah.
He fucking pulled a gun out on somebody.
He did. He did. He did. And it's funny that this whole thing happened like way back and we're just hearing about it now.
It happened in July.
Yeah, and we're just hearing about it. And no one would have heard about it if this whole thing, if he didn't turn himself in and this whole arraignment didn't get streamed, no one would have known. So, all right, Smart.
Well,
One.
apparently, there's one more important news story to talk about.
Oh,
Apparently, another AEW news, Sky Blue Shirts were riding up again this week.
they were.
That
And
our man on the street, our beat reporter, I should have said beat reporter, that implies other things. Christopher Kane letting us know that Sky Blue Shorts were riding.
they were. And that is an ample ass, if we could say that. Now, Smart, I got a question for you. Do you want to quick review AEW and then do predictions, or just do predictions and kind of tie AEW in?
We can do it either way. I will give you the information that I saw roughly only the first hour
Oh,
because I started to watch it when I got home, and then the Bray Wyatt situation happened, and I was like looking at tweets and things like that, and I didn't get around to watching the second hour. So
well
keep that in
then,
mind with however you decide to proceed from here.
we'll just do predictions and talk a little.
I mean, you could talk about it if you watched it. I mean, I did
I
see some.
mean,
I saw the Phoenix Moxley match. It's LAX.
eh,
Damn it. Santana and Ortiz are back. I keep calling them LAX because it's a better name than what they were giving them.
it really is.
But
It really is. But yeah, we'll do it this way. I'm looking at the card. We'll tie everything in.
all right.
We'll tie it. I just won't have many pictures. I don't give a shit. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So that's what we'll do, folks. And you know what? I can actually do this a little better. I can actually I've got my I don't know how good you guys can see that, but that is the match card right there. This is a long match card. Let me drop this down a little bit for you folks here. This is a lot of matches on this card. I don't know if you can see that, but that's fucking like 11 matches, dude. So, we'll go through them though. I guess we can just go ahead and start with. Let's just start at number one and go down the list. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's fucking do it. All right, we're gonna start with match number one. We got Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole. Now, Mark, we all know this is the ROH. This is their match number one. This is the ROH Tag Team Title match. I'm sure you saw last night there was a little tension between these two, which Renee Paquette definitely added to, showing her little videos. So, what do you see happening here with Aussie Open and MJF and Adam Cole? Go ahead.
I mean, Aussie Open, I think, is going to win. I think that Adam Cole's going to turn on MJF. Roderick Strong will be involved. I don't know to what. I mean, I'm having a hard time like predicting what exactly would happen in terms of like, or is Kingdom going to be involved or not? I've seen people saying that maybe like Adam Cole will also join the Kingdom, and that will mean that we get Matt Taven on a weekly basis. So, dear God, please no. I hope not. That would be one of the biggest disappointments in a week of disappointments in wrestling. Please do not allow Matt Taven on my television every week. Anyways, yes, Aussie Open wins.
I definitely think they do, and I think you're right. There's going to be some definite turning in this match, which is not a bad thing because it's going to lead us right into the main event of the night, which I'm sure is going to be the main event of the night. But yeah, I'm with you. Aussie Open wins. I could see Cole turning on MJF. Roddy's down there. Cole looks and he's arguing with Roddy. MJF takes him out or walks out on him, something like that. But yeah, Aussie Open definitely to win that match. Now, we're going to finally get Jack Perry and Hook Smark. Just a singles match here for the FTW Championship. Now, they were supposed to retire that title Wednesday and last night. I would think with Terry Funk passing, they skipped that part.
Maybe.
I don't see it. I mean, they just totally skipped it. I don't understand why else they would skip it if that wasn't the reason. But anyway, Jack Perry, Hook, FGW Championship. What you got?
Uh, Probably Jack Perry. I mean, I could see them maybe just putting the belt back on Hook for a little feel good moment, like to kind of bounce back from, because I feel like it's gonna be a bit of a letdown if Adam Cole and MJF don't win the belt. So like
Right.
maybe do that, but I would go with Jack Perry.
I would definitely go with Jack Perry. They're trying to build Jack Perry. I think they need to keep the title on him, and Jack Perry coming out on top of that one, most definitely. So we had this FTR and Young Bucks, match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR and Young Bucks had a little segment last night. Spark, you did see that, right?
Yeah, basically, another one of the moments where it's like one of the Bucks making fun of Dax for talking about his daughter endlessly, and then Dax had to be like, "Leave my daughter out of this."
You know,
He's like, "We're here. You're here because we gave you jobs, and we're gonna beat you up." It's like,
see,
all right.
I was fine with the whole thing until the Bucks started going, "This is our place. You wouldn't be here without it." You pretentious son of a bitches. I'm sorry, but they shouldn't bring that up ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
I mean, they haven't up to this point. It kind of reminds me of like it's not the same, but like it's sort of the energy of like when there was like an episode of like Impact where like Dixie Carter was just like slapping people,
Uh,
or like Stephanie did that from time to time where she
right.
would like slap the male. That's what it reminds me of. It's like, well, they can't do anything. It's like what can you do with like we're your bosses in real life? It's like, okay, how do you respond to that in a promo? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's that was kind of unnecessary. Yeah, like you could pick on them for a billion different things, and there are plenty, especially with Dax. Now, I would maybe not pick on Cash at the moment because,
Well,
but Dax
I
definitely.
I just thought it was a fucking it was cringy of a fucking line. You're here because we hired you. We gave you a job. You're here because of us. Dude, fuck you. I'm here because you wanted me here.
Yeah.
You fucking douchebags. I I just thought that was the most cringy. I hope they never bring that up again. I wish they never brought it up in the first place, but I hope they never bring it up again. I thought that was awful for them to even bring that into the promo. I thought that was the worst part of the fucking promo. Stephen Butler says there's 7 title matches on this card. Do we think AEW has too many titles and should reserve ROH title matches for ROH pay-per-views only? Wow, it's a tough one. Yes and no.
Literally the same response, but like yes to the first question, they have too many titles, and
Well,
maybe not to the question of like should they only reserve ROH title matches for
yeah.
ROH pay-per-views, because like I could see, like doing an ROH like the tag. I don't know, maybe not the tag team titles on the pre-show, because like you're a company that's supposed to value tag team wrestling. So yes, I understand like ROH is like the sister promotion, but like
Mm,
putting their tag team titles on the pre-show, it does kind of make them very like look secondary and like afterthoughts. In this particular instance, there's like a story built around it, so it makes sense more so than if they just put a random, if it was any other month and they put a ROH tag team title match on the pre-show at any other point. But I could
I,
see, I could see like them putting some of them on, like some of the Ring of Honor title matches on the pay-per-views just for the sake of like they want you to watch. They want you to
yeah.
watch Ring of Honor. They want you to subscribe to Honor Club. And if there's like a hot feud or there's a really interesting good match, like why not put it on the same pay-per-view? Like especially this pay-per-view, you're trying to make it look as big as possible and as important
Right.
as possible. It definitely makes sense here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not every other, maybe not certain other pay-per-views, but on this one, I don't see the problem with it.
You've got it. And basically, you just said what I was going to say. This pay per view, All In, their flagship pay per view, basically. I mean, this is what started the company, All In.
Right.
So, yeah, I think on this show, I've got no issues with it. Um, and you're right; they do have too many titles. I'm with you on that one. And
Mhm.
you're right. I totally agree. This belongs on this show. If they continue doing this, I think the argument will change. I think they if they continue putting ROHs on their. I mean, they've only got a few pay-per-views a year,
Right.
so you know. But I think on this show it's just fine. I see no issues with it. Now, as far as FTR and the Young Bucks, does FTR retain or do the Young Bucks take it? And if they do, you're right. Every IWC, AEW hardcore is going to go, oh, now you're punishing FTR? Well, yeah, he might
And
have. Yeah.
that's why I think they're gonna do it. I feel like this is the kind of company that just like, even if it's people saying that they're a fucking dumpster fire backstage, it's engagement, it's drama, it's people talking. I think that's what's going to happen. And I mean, not only that, even if it had nothing to do, like even if this was already built,
Yep.
FTR's had those belts for a minute now. Like them losing to the Young Bucks is not like the most nonsensical thing that could happen.
No.
Like you're not putting them on fucking Serpentico and Dr. Luther. Like there's a very valid reason to put the belts on the Young Bucks if that's what they so choose.
Oh, yeah. And there absolutely could be some fuckery. So, you know, we'll see. But I totally agree. Young Bucks will take this one. Now we have the 4-way match. Mark, the women are here for this match. Here we got Sheeta, who is the current champion, I believe, right? Yeah, Sheeta, yeah. Versus Toni Storm and her new character, which I saw. Saraya and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. This is a 4-way match. This is for the AEW Women's World Championship. Sheeta retains, or we have a title change with one of those three.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Toni Storm just because like she's kind of the only one that's doing any sort of character work at the moment. So, and it's like her character seems kind of fun, where she's like just complaining about like the manner in which the backstage interviewers like ask her questions and conduct their interviews and that kind of shit. So that's fun. I mean, it's better than like there's at least something that feels unique about what at least one of them is doing. Because like for the longest time there, we were just complaining that the fucking Outcasts. It was the same shit every week, and it was shit that was done 10, 15, 20 years ago with like NWO and all that shit. So they at least they're making it their own, or at least she has her own character at the moment. So go ahead and give it to Toni Storm.
All right. Nor I was thinking that Sheeta is retaining. I mean, Britt Baker, honestly, what has she done to deserve the belt? What has she done lately? What has she done for me lately? Nothing. Saraya, unpredictable. I hate to say
Yeah,
that.
that's the thing. Because I mean, like, yeah, it'd be a big moment for her to like win in England to win the belt and all that shit. But like, is she going to be able to wrestle like a regular schedule and defend titles
Yeah.
or defend the title like on a regular basis? But like I've also seen people say, how often do they have the fucking the women's title defended on Dynamite? So it's like you could make the case that she wins and then it's a special occasion. She'll only defends the title every so often. Like it's possible.
What if Toni Storm pins Saraya? There could be tension in the Outcast, which I tell you the truth, I would not be upset if they gave us a hint this team could be breaking up soon.
After all they've done, you don't want to stop when the train gets hot. I believe so little of what I just said, even as a joke, that I couldn't think of a way to actually.
I would pull
my
that.
brain just would not allow me to even make that as a joke that it's been a good stable. It's like, nope, we're not doing that. That's too much bullshit.
I think we can pull the stop string. I think it's okay on this one, Smart.
I guess.
I think Toni Storm is the only obvious choice. I don't think Sheeta's had done. I mean, she's only had a little time, but done nothing. So, I think you're right. All right. let's move on here. We've got Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve and Christian Cage, because Christian came out and we knew he was going to do it. He went there with Nick Wayne last night. The father stuff.
He just ran out there. Wait a minute. I heard the news. I was a little bit late, but it turns out that your father passed away.
He's like
what is it with you and dad?
And he said it. You guys keep giving me guys with daddy issues to go after. But he's like a bad comedian who just has the same fucking thing that he just keeps going back to. And he comes out and he's like, "Hey, I heard you got a dad. Hey, guess what? He's dead. Hey!" It's like, all right, enough.
I hope to God that two things. I hope that Edge goes to AEW, and I hope that Edge's dad is still alive. Because I want Christian to be like, your dad's dead. And it's like, no, he's not. You've met him.
Yeah. I will say one thing. Nick Wayne's mom, major MILF. Did you see her? Did you see her last night?
I can't recall what she looks like, but I've seen her before. She's a good looking lady, I guess.
We should see her more. Let's just put it that way. All right, with this match, I definitely see Darby and Sting winning. Definitely see that happening. And if you saw last night, Swerve did kick AR Fox out of the little group of theirs last night. Brian Cage took him out. But I see Darby Allin and Sting winning this match. But, yeah, wait a minute. You know what? They've got Nana. They've got Luchasaurus. You know what? Swerve and Christian by fuckery. I'm gonna change it. Swerve and Christian by fuckery.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Swerve and Christian too. I think there's a chance because I believe Sting's saying that he's gonna be about done at the end of the year.
Oh,
so maybe they do something between Sting and Darby.
Yeah, and this is a coffin match, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Swerve and Christian. I think Darby probably begging to be put into a coffin.
And also, if there's any validity to the Edge rumors, then they're not going to have Christian lose, are they?
No. Now you see, Norab, he says Sting is undefeated. If Darby gets put in the coffin, Sting still would be. I think Darby would love to just relax in that coffin for a good 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Okay.
He can't breathe in there. He can't breathe anywhere. Have you heard him cut promos?
Good point. Very good point, Smart. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. The Golden Elite. Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page versus Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, Jay White, and Takeshita. So, what do you think here?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious that Bullet Club Gold was going to win. Just kidding. No, it's fucking elite. There's no way. We talked about it last week, but yeah, they somehow managed to just make Jay White and Juice Robinson total jobbers.
Yeah, Golden Elite are taking this bad boy. This is definitely going to the baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
No questions. All right, Smart, we got a Stadium Stampede match. You ready for this?
Yes.
We've got Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, and Penta, because Ray Phoenix was taken out last night. They're saying he has some visa issues and can't get over to London, so they took him out of the match. Versus Blackpool Combat Club, which is all of them, including, like you said, Smart, Santana and Ortiz last night, which I thought Santana looked pretty good last night. Ortiz we've seen in recent weeks, but Santana looked pretty good. He came back, and they even took a little picture today that with everything going on, that you just got to kind of put it all behind you. So I think these guys are going to get back together, but Who do you got here, Mark? Smark. I'm sorry.
Fucking fuck. Who do you guys?
Yeah. Who do you got? Who do you got? You
Hmm.
got that Blackpool Combat Club, do you? Or you got that Kingston Cassidy best friends thing, do you?
God, this is a tough one.
With those flippy Mexican dudes.
The old flipping Mexican dudes. Um, Probably BCC. Because I mean, there's just like Orange Cassidy and Eddie Kingston are like the only two people on the team that like they actually like kind of push.
Yeah.
Well, Orange Cassidy more so than anybody, but like yeah, like I just this seems like a match that was like definitely invented or made so that like Trent Beretta could eat a pinfall. But I mean,
Okay.
who knows?
Okay.
Like there's a chance, we could see like when Kingston and Moxley like getting together or something. And I don't know, but yeah, I would say probably GCC.
Okay. Blackpool Combat Club. I think because Santana and Ortiz are on that team, man, do those guys fight and cause Blackpool Combat Club to lose? That's why do I have a feeling Santana and Ortiz are going to get into it and cause BCC to lose? For some reason, that popped into my head. I'm going I'm going heels. I'm going Kingston, or not heels, but faces. I'm going Kingston, Cassidy. I'm going there. I think Santana and Ortiz start fighting. Blackpool Combat Club goes to fucking shit, and the baby faces take this match.
There you go.
I'm going with that. Which brings us to a singles match between Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho, which we had a contract signing for last night. Now, Jericho Smark is pretty good on the mic usually, almost always. I got to tell you, I thought Ospreay last night showed him up. I loved Ospreay's promo last night. I fucking loved it. I really did. I loved the passion he had, and I thought it was a great, great promo last night. I don't know much about Will Ospreay. I'm not sure if he's known for his talking or not, but that promo last night, I enjoyed the shit out of.
I mean, he can cut some promos at times. He's not necessarily like known as a good promo guy necessarily, but
Mm-hmm.
he can do all right because he's good at being like sort of an obnoxious like British douchebag, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that
Just
came
that
off.
sort of type.
That came off last night, but I really thought I liked his promo. I liked what he was saying. He kind of got real. He got down deep, saying, I've been doing this for this long. I've been like this and that. I thought it was a great fucking promo.
Yeah.
So there you go. Who do
And
you
then
got?
there is some, I mean, there's some passion. I can understand the passion behind that because it seems like he may even potentially be like winding down because he's saying that there's certain shit that he can't do anymore, and then doing certain moves hurts more than I think they have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Who knows how long he's going to be doing it? But yeah, I guess I'll go Osprey.
Really? Osprey. He did mention he's only got 6 months of his contract left, which makes me think Jericho will take this, but we will see a lot of wills in this. But we're going to see Will Ospreay again. I think Jericho's going with this one.
I'm more honestly, more than anything, I'm just curious to see how the fans react to this.
Yeah, very
Because,
true.
like, yeah, everybody loves Jericho, but like, it's England, so it's like I could see, I could see this being sort of a Rock Hogan situation where it's like you don't know who's going to cheer for who, but Hogan ends up winning out primarily. Where it's like, yeah, I could see Osprey winning out primarily in this.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
But the good news is that we're going to see a live performance of Judas by Fozzy. We're going to get a little mini Fozzy concert.
That's right. That is the good news, Mark, to some people.
Which, I mean, there's already enough like foreign tension between us and other countries. I don't know if we really need to do things to incite England, but it's a bold choice.
Oh, please. I'm not worried about fucking England.
Listen, I mean, it is their fault for making us like have to deal with Mr. Bean, but like, do they really deserve fault?
Yay! Let's not mess with that man.
Wallace and Gromit?
Guy's a national fucking treasure. Don't mess with Mr. Bean.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Let's go on to the next match. Singles match for the real world championship, as Punk is calling that fucking whatever.
Is the Miz eligible for that title?
Oh, absolutely. It
World
should be
champion.
only on him. CM Punk, Samoa Joe. I see Punk.
Yeah. I mean, I want Joe to win just because I'm tired of hearing about CM Punk, but in all reality, Punk's probably going to.
I think so too. All right. 6-man tag team match for the AEW World Trios Championships. We've got House of Black versus the Acclaimed and a newly unretired Billy Gunn. 2 weeks. He was retired for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Then 2.5 and unretired. I definitely see Gunn. No. Oh. I don't know in this one now. Yeah, you know what? I am. I'm going with the baby faces in this one. Gunn, Acclaimed.
Yeah,
or
I think so too.
Or do they lose and Billy Gunn really retires? I don't know. Let's go with I'm going to go with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Which is going to bring us, see, Butler says House of Black too.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them winning. It's not impossible. But they have had the trios belts for a minute now. So
yeah, Steven, don't do this to me. And you know what? They really don't do much with it.
Not on Dynamite necessarily, but they've been doing good on Collision.
Go Collide. That's fine.
And, I mean, Buddy Matthews and Andrade had a really good match, but
you know what? Buddy Matthews is, no matter what happens with him, he's going to be fine. He's getting ready to marry Rhea Ripley, which, holy shit, what a lucky man.
I do love that. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but just imagine like there's all these like fucking backstage fights going on. He's like, "Yep, gonna Skype my hot wife. You nerds have fun." Like, I don't give a fuck. What? Yeah, I'll lose every one of my matches. Don't care.
This guy has been through some fucking major fucking hot poon in his days, Buddy Matthew. He has gone through some fucking good ones. Alexa Bliss. Oh my lord, this guy is fucking cocky.
Like, I mean, that would be peak for most people. Like, you don't bounce back from that if you're 98% of the fucking men on this earth.
Well,
God bless the man. The man landed on his feet like a cat.
Guy's a fucking cocksmith, obviously.
Apparently.
Which brings us to our main event. I don't know why that brought us to our main event, but it did. AEW World Championship match, folks. MJF and Adam Cole. Big dick energy right here, folks.
The white too cold Scorpio, old Buddy Matthews.
There you go, old Buddy Matthews. Put a fucking hammer lock on it. Give me some more Gatorade, please. All right. MJF, Adam Cole, Smart.
Kind of a tough one, but
it is a tough one. Does MJF lose the Triple B? Does Adam Cole win it? Does Roddy come down and not fuck around in the other match? And does he fuck around in this match and cause Adam Cole to lose, letting MJF keep his belt?
Because, I mean, there's a billion different pieces that we could go for this. Because I like a lot of people seem to think, and myself included, I'm not, that MJF is going to stay face in all of this. MJF could end up being fucking a heel in this too. Like, you could end the night with like somehow MJF and like Roddy being friends, and like it just being a whole big inside thing.
Wow.
That there's all different ways that you could take this shit. I'm going to go with MJF retaining. I don't know how that happens necessarily. If MJF's a face at the end of the night, a heel at the end of the night, there's a billion different ways that this could happen. But I think regardless, MJF keeps the belt.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I definitely think MJF is keeping. I think he's been pretty good with the belt. I think people like him having the belt. He's our scumbag, Smart. He's our scumbag.
I think it's just a better story all in all because
Yes.
he cut the whole promo about how he was on, he had to beg to get on the original All In, and he lost he was in the opening match, and he lost that, and now it's like full circle. He's in the biggest card in AEW, and he's the champion, and he'll have him retain. I think it's a better story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen. Oh, poor Norab.
Norab hitting below the belt.
All he's worried about is Andrade and Charlotte splitting.
They said poor Andrade, he's not on the card, and rumors he and Charlotte have split.
He's really worried about Andrade and Charlotte and splitting up. And you know what? Listen, she's going after her dad's record for the belt. She has to go after the divorce record too. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, consistency, Norab. Consistency is what it's about. If you beat one record, you've got to go for the other, sir. So just let her do what she's doing. All right? And besides, he has an ass like a fucking piece of plywood. But anyway.
Andrade just doing his best to defy stereotypes about Latin men and what they like.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she has no ass, no?
Nasatal, as they call it.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's early 30s, mid 30s. He's fucking jacked. He's Latin. He'll do all right for himself.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Look, if they split, I don't care. I really don't. It's got nothing to fucking do with me. Nothing to do with me. Nothing. Listen, if they split, you know what? It don't cost me a penny.
Mm-hmm.
It don't cost me nothing. So, all right, folks. Smart, like I said, I mean, really, we talked about the high points of AEW while we were going through those. I think we're fucking done unless you got anything else to get into, my brother.
I think that about does it.
Well, this is one of our longer shows for the past couple months at 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It stands to reason.
Well, unfortunately, we had some bad news to get into at the beginning of the show. Obviously, once again, condolences to Terry Funk's family, to Wyndham Rotunda's family, obviously Bray Wyatt, who's leaving behind a young wife and young kids, which is awful, So, but that is it, folks. So enjoy All In coming up on Sunday.
I want to say Saturday, but I don't know.
27th.
27th
Sunday.
Is what? Sunday, not Sunday.
Sunday. So enjoy that on Sunday. I'm sure we'll talk about it on next Thursday. And that is it, folks. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Be good. Be good to each other. Have fun. Enjoy. So on that note, as we do, don't forget to, obviously, folks, appreciate everybody coming on by tonight. Like I said, I know it's been kind of a surreal last couple days being a wrestling fan. But Smart, I'm glad you made it on here and got to talk about Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. And I will see you next Thursday as well, sir. So